Now, Robert has always been a very shifty fellow. Shifty as fuck. Smooth. Upper. Mdomo. Man or woman, Robert will get whatever the fuck he wants from you. I have bad news, bro.
Did you hear that? That right there is the sound of a past trying to claw its way out of the grave. Because lately, Robert Burale's skeletons seem to be making a comeback. And what's being unearthed has people asking, who really is this man? From one angle, Robert Burale is a man of transformation, a motivational speaker, image consultant, pastor, mentor. That's how he has packaged himself. He has given sermons along with words of motivation. But as his public persona ascends, the shadows of his past are also reappearing.
So I decide I trust him at some point and I give him 250,000 shillings to go to Mombasa. He's shown me pictures of a car to come and bring this car from Mombasa to Nairobi. Already at that point I should have known I was going to get called, right?
First, there's Nini Wacera, a name that recently surfaced with an old clip of her recounting how Burale allegedly conned her 250,000 Kenyan shillings. She says that years ago she had saved enough money to buy a car. She met a man in a hotel who claimed that he was a car dealer. He then asked her for the money, promising to source her the car from Mombasa. He did stay in touch all throughout and even sent her photos of the supposed car, only to disappear.
So I give him the money, he goes off, he's talking to me throughout this whole period, gets to the coast, he's talking to me, gets to the car, takes pictures of the car, he's talking to me, he's driving back, I don't hear from him.
Years later, she claims she saw him in a newspaper as a pastor calling for single women in need of prayers with his number, which she called to ask for a refund, to ask for her money back. He asked to meet but never showed up.
Many years later, I find an advertisement in the newspaper that says that there's a pastor in town who's going to pray for single women to get into couples, into marriages. And it's this guy, Robert, who's now a pastor. So I find his contact and I call him and I'm like, dude, do you still have my 250,000 shillings? Oh, Nini. Oh, in fact, I'm born again. Oh, in fact, I want to make amends. Oh, in fact, let's meet at Trattoria on Wednesday at 7 o'clock and I'll give you back your money. Fool that I was. Where was I? Trattoria. 7 o'clock on that day, waiting for this guy who never turned up.
Now, Burale swiftly publicly denied ever being a car dealer in response to Nini's allegations. Robert Burale has been described by Andrew Kibe, a man who seems to have been close with him back in the day, as a shifty person and someone who can easily extract what he wants from both men and women.
Now, Robert has always been a very shifty fellow. Shifty as fuck. Smooth. Upper. Mdomo. Man or woman, Robert will get whatever the fuck he wants from you.
Nini's case is not isolated. There have been reports on gossip threads here and there that Burale has conned many, especially those he has wooed by the promise of marriage, a romantic relationship, or the promise of spiritual blessings, among other means.
So I just want to give some my 15 cents in this Burale story. So I used to have a very good friend in 2019. She's also a lawyer. And that time I remember this lady showed me text messages between her and Burale. And literally, Burale was soliciting funds from this girl. Like he was asking this girl for money. And I remember very well there were some sexual messages, him trying to tell her this and that. But the common factor in the conversation is Burale was asking for money.
His ex-wife, Rozinah Mwakideu, who was recently featured on her brother's show, claimed that at their wedding, many women present believed he would marry them. She further recounted how their honeymoon was reportedly funded by a woman who genuinely thought Burale was going to marry her. She says that he had been lying to this woman, that their marriage or his marriage to Rozinah Mwakideu was all pretense and not real.
One of these other ladies sasa naitwa mtamuita Christine.
Okay.
Na yeye nilikuja kujua baadaye ya kwamba yeye ndo alilipia hata ile honeymoon yetu. I came to know baadaye. This woman was married for almost 20 years.
Ni mzito ana shilingi.
Ana shilingi mbaya.
Alilipia honeymoon.
Na ameolewa
So alikuwa na support as a couple.
Mi alikuwa ni support. Alikuwa na support Burale. Because Burale ameambia huyu, by the way, from those emails, na yeye si peke yake ameambia, this is not a marriage, it is fake. We're just doing it for the show. Imagine I saw that.
From this story by Rozinah Mwakideu, it's clear that Robert Burale was one who was used to duping women emotionally and financially by taking advantage of their soft spots. Some believe that if he has truly changed and that if he is indeed a better man now, then he should start by refunding money to those people he duped. Somebody who shares this opinion is Chaxi of Mic Check podcast.
If Burale has really changed, for benefit of the doubt, it's been many years, assuming, there's nothing within you, even as a pastor, deep down, even forget being a pastor, just as a human being, now you acknowledge you made mistakes, you con people money. I'm talking about money, because there's things you can't reverse.
Yeah.
Like feelings. You hurt someone's feelings, it's hard
You did, you did
it's
what
hard
you
to
did.
do right by someone's feelings if they don't feel otherwise.
Yeah.
But if I conned you money, if I've truly changed, then at least pay
Return
me
the
back.
money.
Yeah.
But do you really think that Robert Burale will turn around and refund all the people he duped? Because remember, Nini Wacera is the only one who came out publicly. There may be many out there who still are not confident enough or not bold enough to come out and share their experience. But going back to Nini Wacera's story, she tells us that after finding out Robert Burale had become a pastor and even getting his number, she asked him for a refund and he promised to meet her but never showed up. The key point here is that he had already been born again and had already become a pastor, but still he did not show up to refund Nini her money.
An advertisement in the newspaper that says that there's a pastor in town who's going to pray for single women to get into couples, into marriages, and it's this guy, Robert, who's now a pastor. So I find his contact and I call him and I'm like, dude, do you still have my 250,000 shillings? Oh, Nini. Oh, in fact, I'm born again. Oh, in fact, I want to make amends. Oh, in fact, let's meet at Trattoria on Wednesday at 7 o'clock and I'll give you back your money. Fool that I was. Where was I? Trattoria. 7 o'clock on that day, waiting for this guy who never turned up.
So it's all these things coupled up together that have sent the internet into a frenzy. And the one question that has been left in people's minds is, who really is Robert Burale? Is he the motivational guru, charismatic pastor who gives life advice, or is he the man who has been described by these people in this video, a con man wearing a pastor's robe? When he steps up to preach, is it a mask? Who is the man behind it? Andrew Kibe, who seems to have known him well, doesn't appear entirely convinced with Robert Burale being a pastor. Does he know something we don't?
Ukiona mahali upate kuna shida, then if you can solve the problem, then you become the go-to guy.
They are looking for somebody who does not exist.
So you must learn how to solve problems, and you look at the problems in the society.
They are no good men.
Robert Burale cannot talk to you because he's going to come there in his tight suits.
So at the beginning of the year, we trusted God for many things. We believed God for many things. This is your year for marriage. This is your year for a house that did not be.
The Lord himself has sent me with this message.
I want us to go through the scriptures and see how God can still come through.
I feel it in my fucking spirit.
The ball now is on your court. What are your thoughts? What are your views? Share them with us in the comment section. But for now, this is where we will pause because again, these remain to be allegations and stories all across social media. There still hasn't been provided any proof. What we have is an image of a man whose past refuses to stay buried. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned, stay updated right here on BNN.